Hey guys, it's me. It's Queen Offset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Pass it on to somebody else who might like it as well, and leave us a positive comment in the comments section. And don't forget to wait to the end because I have saved 2 positive comments from previous videos to read to you guys. And remember, all of my information is underneath this video. So if you want to email me, hit me up on social media, buy me a present, become a patron on Patreon, buy some merchandise from my Teespring shop. Whatever you want to know about, I guarantee you it's going to be underneath this video. Okay? All right, so let's get started. Let's talk about today's question. This is an interesting one because I see this very, very often. And I also, it can be hairy too. A number of you will recognize this. Many of you have probably been in this situation or know somebody who has. So I got a message from a guy. This gentleman is really interesting. He's a Gemini. He's a thinker. And he's in a relationship with an Aquarius. So basically, what happened was, in high school, in 9th grade, he started to date a girl that lived across the street. Him and the girl dated all through high school, went on a prom together, started college at the same university. They had a really good, long relationship. But while they were in college, they realized something. They realized that they didn't have any goals for the future in common. She wants to be or is becoming a marine biologist. She's in school for marine biology, which is gotta be cool. And he is more of a down-to-earth kind of guy, as far as he really just wanted to get it like, I forgot what he said. He's an engineer. He does like building designs and working on things like that, some kind of engineer work. But he wanted to settle down and kind of just buy a house, and chill, live near his mama, because as you're getting ready to see, him and his mama are very close. Him and his family are very close. So that's really his idea. And the girl across the street, she wants to travel and do all kind of other stuff. So when they were in college, they started to realize that their love was very strong, but their goals in life were not adding up. And the longer the older they got, the more separate they became. So eventually they broke up. They're still cordial, they're still friendly, they don't have no beef with each other, but they just didn't want the same things. So he started seeing the Aquarius. So it's been a couple years now. So when he first started seeing the Aquarius, his mother was and still is very upset that he broke up with the girl across the street. She's the sweet hometown girl, great attitude, and the mother really wanted him to marry her. The mother thought they were going to get married and have kids. So once he started dating the Aquarius, she really wasn't too keen on her. She wasn't too polite to her either. She kind of just treated her like Miss Right Now, like hoping that he would break up with her and go back to the girl across the street. Well, it's been a few years and that hasn't happened. The girl across the street is still going to school for marine biology. The two of them have not rekindled, and he is into the Aquarius. He wants to have a future with the Aquarius. He said it's going on 3 years and he wants to keep going. He wants to see where this can go. For all intents and purposes, they're very happy with each other, but his mother gave her a hard way to go in the beginning. So the Aquarius refused to go to her house, refuses to bother with her, period. So he sees her, they go other places, they go to her house, she goes with her family for holidays, sometimes he goes with her, things like that. So he said to me that he does not like this setup. He wants to stay with the Aquarius, like I told you. He wants to marry her. He wants to have kids. He wants a future with her. And he said, Queen, she won't go to my mother's house. My mother was rude to her, yes, or, threw a little shade. She wasn't full-fledged rude, but she was shady. She talked about the girl behind her back, and it got back to the Aquarius, stuff like that. So he's like, I know my mom, messed up, but I am trying to move us past that. So for Christmas, he said to his mom he wasn't coming if the Aquarius was not invited to Christmas dinner. So the mom was like, all right, she's invited. So when he talked to the Aquarius about it, she refused to go. They got into an argument, and she did not go. So he's like, Queen, I know that my mom acted like an ass. I know it's her fault, but I need the Aquarius to help me here. He's like, I know my mom acted up, but I just need her to be cordial. Just try, And he's like, why can't she just try? That was his question to me. Why can't she just try? Why couldn't she just go to dinner and just try? And I said, let me tell you something, my man. Number one, the reason why is what I'm going to speak to first. The Aquarius is trying to give him respect. She's trying to respect him because she knows if she goes over there and his mama keep acting shady, she probably this close from cussing that lady out. I'm going to be straight up with you. She probably about this close. And because she cares about him as a person and as her lover, and because she wants to keep the relationship going and keep it cordial, she's staying away from her trigger, which is his mother. So she's just staying away from her. Like, that's your mama, you deal with your mama. So it's not that she's not trying. As a matter of fact, she actually is trying very hard. She's trying damn hard, because a lot of Aquarius would have just stepped off. They would just stop messing with you and been like, look, his mama, I'm not trying to mess with them. And they just would have dipped. But she cares about you. So instead of leaving you, she's staying with you, and she's staying away from your mother so she won't be disrespectful. So it's not like, she's just being petty or whatever the case is. She's trying not to cuss her out. She's trying not to make things worse. She's trying not to have a rift happen in your family. So that's why she's staying away from her. And I wouldn't try to make her spend time with my family. Listen, I know that you want things to change. You want a future with this person. You want her to be a part of the family. It doesn't always work like that. Comment in the comment section if you know someone who cannot stand the person their son or daughter is with. It's very common for a mother especially not to like the significant other that her child has chosen. Maybe because something's wrong with them and the mother can feel it, or maybe because of the fact they wanted them, like in this case, with someone else, or maybe that's just not the person their mother envisions them with. But I know this scenario happens all the time. And people who come out of it in a good way usually do what I'm getting ready to tell you. Generally what happens is, number one, people will talk to their mother. You need to talk to your mom, and you need to tell her that her behavior is not appropriate. You've already stood up to her and told her if your Aquarius is not welcome, you're not coming. That was actually a smart move, because now you need to make sure that your mother understands that regardless of what she wants for your life, this is a decision you've made as a man. And she needs to respect your decision and respect the person you've decided to be with. Period. So if the Aquarius ever does decide to go over there, or does decide she'll give it a shot, your mother needs to know that she needs to be cordial and polite and respectful to the person that you are in love with. So the first person you need to speak to is your mother. And if your mother will apologize to the Aquarius, that actually would help speed this along a little bit. But if she won't, because your mom sounds a little stubborn, if she won't, that's fine. As long as she understands in the future that her behavior needs to be respectful. Then I wouldn't try to make the Aquarius do anything. You said every time you try to talk about it, she doesn't want to talk about it. She gets angry. She doesn't want to talk about it. She shuts off. She doesn't want to say anything bad about your mom or snap out. So she's trying not to say anything at all. Not to be around, not to say anything. And that really doesn't work very well, especially in a long-term situation. So I would leave it be, because these kind of things have a way of working themselves out. I've seen a lot of couples go through this, and generally, in most cases, not in the most stubborn cases, but in some of the easier cases, these things work themselves out. Time passes, your relationship gets stronger, you get engaged, you get married, you have kids, things happen. You see, your mother had over a decade with you in the relationship with the girl across the street. She had a decade to bond with her and to watch her grow up, you know? And she had a long time of that fantasy that she had in her head for your relationship with her. She didn't see the incompatibility, and she really don't care. She just wants you to be with that nice girl across the street. She don't care about the rest of that. So what you have to do is you have to give this time. These kind of things have a way generally of working out. Usually what happens is time progresses, babies are born, you know, things happen, and people slowly but surely come around. Ice melts. Sometimes it takes longer than others, and in real stubborn cases, it's never really that great. But in best case scenarios, these things work out, and people are at least able to interact with each other, you know? So if I were you, what I would do is back off and follow the things that I said. Don't try to make the Aquarius go over there. Y'all can talk about it if she's open to talking about it. But I wouldn't try to make her go over there. I wouldn't keep doing that. Let them be separate. It's fine. Over time, things will work themselves out. Don't try to force the Aquarius, because Aquarius, you can't force an Aquarius to do anything. And if you do force them to do it, the outcome usually isn't good. And some of the times, if you keep trying to push something on us that we don't want, we'll back away from you. So you'll mess around and lose the Aquarius if you keep trying to push her in that direction. So I wouldn't push her at all. I would talk to my mother, and I would keep talking to my mother until I saw that she was really serious about what she said. If she says she's going to do it, and okay, son, I understand, I would keep talking to her, making sure she was on point. I would have the conversation with the Aquarius every time it came up. Every holiday, I would kind of sprinkle it in there, but I wouldn't push. I would just ask, hey, what do you think about going to Thanksgiving dinner at my mom's next week? No? Okay, all right. Next time. Hey, it's Easter. There's Easter dinner at my mom's. What do you think about going? I would just keep throwing it out there. Every holiday, I would throw it out there. And maybe one day, if things are calm enough and enough time has passed, maybe one day she'll say yes. And if she never does, that's fine too. Because remember, the Aquarius didn't start this. But if you push her, the Aquarius will end it. One way or another. Okay? All right, let's get a comment going. This came from Old School Aquarius. She said, Aquarius have a F it button. And once triggered or tripped, boom. I find that I'm a reactor. If poked, I'll give you more than what you are looking for, in more ways than you could imagine. This is very typical Aquarius. You step on a landmine and it explodes. As I'm getting older, I'm going to tell you guys what I'm working on now, spiritually speaking. I'm working on not getting upset. I'm working on not getting upset when people do things that irk me. Now, years ago, I wouldn't have been able to even work on this, but I'm working on it. And it's probably going to take me another 15 years to actually master it, but I'm working on it. So that is a very Aquarius thing. A lot of us have that boom button. Shirley Alexander. Shirley is my girl. She's received one of the highest number of hearts from me. What's up, girl? Shirley Alexander said, happy belated Mother's Day. Yes, I have a temper when need be. For the most part, I'm that friend you would love to have. Again, Aquarius, that temper is there, but like I said, it's not something that comes out very frequently. It just comes out when we're provoked or pushed. And the older we get and the more we work on it, like in my case, the less and less the dragon rears her head. The last time I got really angry about something, it's been a while. I mean, like, I've been in Costa Rica off and on for like 3 years. It'll be 3 years in August. And I think I've been mad like 3 times since I've been here, averaging like what, once a year. So I'm older now though. So I've worked on this. I have coping mechanisms in place. I have things, that I do and things I don't do. So it did take me a long time to learn how to keep that temper down. All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. So if you would like a reading done, please email me and I'll hook you up. Thanks for being here, and come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you later.